O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You understand my thought from afar. You scrutinize my path and my lying down and are intimately acquainted with all of my ways. Even before there is a word on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it all. You have enclosed me behind and before and laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It's too high, I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend to heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in Sheol, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the dawn, if I dwell in the remotest part of the sea, even there your hand will lead me. Your right hand will lay hold of me. If I say, surely the darkness will overwhelm me, and the light around me will be night, even the darkness is not dark to you, and the night is as bright as the day. Darkness and light are alike to you. You formed my inward parts. You wove me together in my mother's womb. I will give thanks to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret and skillfully wrought in the depths of the earth. Your eyes have seen my unformed substance, and in your book were all written the days that were ordained for me, when as yet there was not one of them. How precious also are your thoughts towards me, O God. How vast is the sum of them. If I could count them, they would outnumber the sand. When I awake, I am still with you. Oh, that you would slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me, therefore, men of bloodshed, for they speak against you wickedly, and your enemies take your name in vain. Do I not hate those who hate you, O Lord? And do I not loathe those who rise up against you and hate them with the utmost hatred? They have become my enemies. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my anxious thoughts, and see if there's any hurtful way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. I think that it is fascinating to me, and I am astounded that in the midst of war, in the midst of famine, in the midst of chaos, that when there is one that's suffering, the Lord is intimately acquainted with them, and his eyes never leave them. His presence stays through the night, stays and sits in the abuse. It stays and sits when people are being objectified and tortured over and over and over again. And he says, never will I leave you. I'll never forsake you. I think it's fascinating because I think we say we love God's justice. And I think we say we want to do justice. And I think we do to a certain extent. But man, I know for me, when I think about justice, I think about how easily distracted I am. And I want to think about the suffering in the world, and I want to pay attention, and I want to help, and I want to do good things. But man, it's like there's so much injustice. It's so much. It's overwhelming. Like I can't stay for more than an hour sometimes hearing of just horrific things that happen to people in the trafficking space or any injustice. And yet God is faithful, and he doesn't leave, and he stays through the night. And I just felt that tonight the Lord wanted to give us a fresh revelation of the suffering servant. I felt like he wanted to give us a fresh revelation of what it looks like to sit with the broken, of what it looks like to stay and to look at the injustice when it is hard to stomach. I know I'm coming out of the gate swinging here, and no introduction, just this is injustice. But I think anybody that knows me knows that that's kind of how I am. And I think because something for me that I've done is I've asked the Lord, God, would you take me down into the weeping room? And would you show me what it looks like? I want to see the things that you see, and I want the things that burden your heart to burden mine. And I got to tell you guys, the weeping room is a really hard place to be. It is hard to sit and see suffering and injustice, and to see people who have been whose lives have been horrifically ruined by wickedness. It's hard to stomach. But I felt like there was just something that the Lord wanted to reveal to us tonight, perhaps an invitation down into the weeping room, but a place where the Lord, he takes this and he takes the burden of these things, where we come and we co-labor with him and we partner with him, and then we begin to weep and we begin to get his heart for injustice. And then we begin to get his eyes to see solutions for injustice. I'm so proud of all of our students with Frontlines. They are absolutely incredible. Frontlines is not the easiest school because you have to come and you have to hear about really hard injustices. And your worldview is getting wrecked a little bit. And yet, every single one of them continue to show up every single day to wrestle it out with the Lord. And say, God, would you show me? I don't understand. I don't understand what your justice looks like. Would you show me? Because my justice is different. My definition of justice is different. Would you show me what it looks like? And I'm watching them come alive, and I'm watching then the Lord beginning to put plans and blueprints and begin to speak to them about their destinies and about certain things that they're called to, where they begin to have an answer and solutions and begin to learn to seek the Lord's heart for solutions for these different injustices. And I think that's something that we did with Hope Arise. So, again, I'm Bethany Hall, after that very bold introduction. And I'm very new to YWAM. And a few years ago, I had been working in the anti-trafficking space for a couple of years, and the Lord called me. First I started in New Jersey, and the Lord called me back here to my home island of Hawaii, and our only token Hawaiian in the crowd. And he began to speak to me, and he said, okay, I want you to move back to Hawaii. And I said, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. But he kept speaking to me, and he says, I want you to do anti-trafficking work. And I said, well, I don't know how I'm going to do that, God, because I'm a high school dropout. I don't have an education. But over the years, the Lord took me through, and he trained me up, and he taught me different things. And so then this kind of turning point came, and I remember I was standing at my church in New Jersey, and somebody was praying over me, and I was preparing to leave to come here. And they said, yeah, I just just keep seeing these letters, YWAM. And he's like, does that mean anything to you? And I said, no. I didn't really know. I had heard of YWAM before. I'm from the Hilo side. I heard that they put a bunch of kids in vans and send them out places. Like, that's what I heard about YWAM. I didn't know what it was. And and I was like, yeah, I don't know. I said, I mean, there's a place called YWAM in Kona. I said, but that's not where I'm going. I'm going to Hilo, and I'm going to work in anti-trafficking. So I moved to Hilo, and I'm working in anti-trafficking. And then a few years later, I happened to get connected to a bunch of YWAMers as I'm like out in the community doing my job for the anti-trafficking organization that I was working for. And I got connected with a bunch of YWAMers. And I got connected with Yolene. I don't know if any of you know Yolene. I'm sure most of you know Yolene. And she says, oh, will you come and teach, our students about anti-trafficking? And I said, sure. So I came, and I was teaching some classes. And anyway, maybe about 2 years in, I felt like the Lord said, I want you to quit your job and go to YWAM. And I said, that's crazy. I was 40 years old when he called me to YWAM. I think I was turning 40. Don't tell anybody, because I tell people I'm 25. So, and I said, this is crazy. I'm going to quit my job, and I'm going to join a bunch of 20-year-old missionaries. Like, this is nuts. But I said, God, you have my yes. Like, I already quit my job in New Jersey and moved to Hawaii on a word of the Lord. And I'm like, well, what else? You know, I talk a lot of smack to you, but at the end of the day, I'll always do what you want me to do. So I quit my job. I come to Fire and Fragrance Extreme Places. Extreme Places. I should have went to Crossroads, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, what 40-year-old wants to go to extreme places? We went to the jungle of Brazil, man. And it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. And so, anyway, so I come back, and I'm like, okay, and I felt like the Lord told me, partner with Yolene, join Frontlines, all the things. But all the while, throughout this whole time, I mean, from when I even just started coming to teach a few years ago, we just met in the prayer room. And we would meet right here in the prayer room on campus, just a few of us, just a handful of us. And we said, man, God is wanting to do something about human trafficking here in Hawaii. And there was just a couple of us that just had a word of the Lord, and were just stirred. And we're like, gosh, we don't know what to do with this, so let's just pray. And right here on this campus, we go into the prayer room every single week, and we just begin interceding. God, would you break our heart? God, would you show us what you're wanting to do here? God, would you highlight? Would you shine the light on evil? Would you uncover the wickedness that's happening behind closed doors, in hidden places? Would you show it? Would you reveal it? And we just kept praying and praying and praying. And we were praying really globally. And then the Lord said, no, I want you to just pray over Hawaii. And so we started praying over Hawaii. And then as we're praying over Hawaii, all of a sudden, what happened is a couple of us that had this heart for human trafficking, wanted to see programs and different projects established in the earth. All of a sudden, we were like, we feel like this is time. We feel like we're supposed to go after this thing. And so we started meeting separately in addition to our prayer meetings. And we formed a board. And we just started planning. And God just began to speak, and he began to give revelation of his heart and what he wanted. And then all of a sudden, we started seeing like hundreds of people saying, hey, I don't know why, but I feel like God is calling me to YWAM Kona to fight human trafficking. He's wanting me to do this work here, and he's put this on my heart, and he told me, come to YWAM Kona. And we were like, man, God is doing something here. This is crazy. And so as we're praying I was reminded of before I moved back to Hawaii, after I got that prophetic word, I had a vision from the Lord. I think it was a dream, actually. I had a dream. And in this dream, there was this row of Native Hawaiians standing on the beach, and they were looking out at the ocean. And all of these government officials came up, and they said, "Get off the beach. Get off the beach. A tsunami is coming. Get off the beach." And all the Hawaiians stood their ground, and they said, "We're not going anywhere. We've been waiting for this wave." And then the wave came in, and the Hawaiians jumped into this tsunami and surfed it out. And I woke up out of the dream, and I said, man, God is doing something in Hawaii. There's something going on in Hawaii. I gotta get there. So he reminded me of this dream that I had had a few years earlier. 2 days after I have this dream, a friend of mine sends me a prophetic word from like another global prophetic ministry, and they said, there is going to be a tsunami wave that hits Hawaii, and it's going to hit Hawaii, and then it's going to come out as another tsunami wave, and it's going to hit the West Coast and all of America. And then I came to YWAM Kona, and I hear this guy, Lauren Cunningham, and his visions of waves, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the place. God is doing something here. I felt like tonight, I probably should have been looking at the time. Somebody wave me down because I don't know what time I'm supposed to end. Sorry guys, it's my first time. But this is what I really felt. I know that we hear a lot in this community about injustices, and we're going to do all these things. And yes, I believe that we will. But I felt like there was a fresh invitation tonight for almost a fresh surrender to the Lord. Because I have to tell you, after, I don't know how many years, not that long, 6 or 7 years maybe of doing this work. For those of you that didn't see, all the kids in the front row did this. Oh, that was great. So after a number of years of doing this work, I got to tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. And I think a part of the reason why I like to come out the gate swinging is because sometimes I want to say, I know there's a lot of people that say, God, I want to fight injustice. But then when it gets to the real nitty-gritty work, there's not a lot left standing. And I've worked in organizations where we've had probably 25 turnovers in 2 years because it's not easy. It's not easy to sit with the broken. But man, is it the most rewarding and the most incredible work, because it takes grit and it takes perseverance. And I do believe that we have that here at Kona. I do believe that we have grit, and I do believe that there's perseverance. I mean, you guys wouldn't be standing here today still, decades later, if you didn't. But I felt like there was a fresh desire or pull from the Lord where sometimes we say we want certain things, but our flesh wants a whole lot of other things. Guys, I'm right there with you. And I think he's asking, will you be the ones who stay up through the night to keep watch? Guys, we are living in an hour. All you have to do is look around. All you have to do is open your social media, and within 2 seconds, you'll see some kind of injustice, some kind of bombing, some kind of tragedy that's happened, that's taken place. I remember in 2020, when the pandemic hit, the Lord said, I'm sounding the alarm. This is an alarm clock. And I felt, then COVID hit and COVID passed, and then we kind of went back to our status quo and the way that things had been, and trying to find life as usual and life as normal. But I wonder if God never meant for us to go back to life as usual. And I wonder if it was God himself setting off an alarm clock, asking us to wake up. Asking us, will you wake up and keep watch? Will you wake up and pray? Will you sit with the broken? When you feel like you don't have any answers or any solutions, will you keep pressing in? Will you keep trusting me? And I so desire to see this community rise, because the earth is groaning. The earth is groaning for the sons and daughters of God to arise and to take their place and to bring solutions where there is brokenness, to bring reformation and change. And so we sat in that prayer room and we said, God, would you give us solution? Would you give us blueprints? I want blueprints. Show me how to end human trafficking. Show me what you want me to do. I'll start here in Hawaii. Show me what to do. And then the Lord took me through Exodus, and I started reading Exodus. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm reading the tabernacle. And God, you wanted this height and this color and this wide and all these things. I don't get it. And then it hit me. I don't get it. I'm like, God, I don't know why you like the things that you like and why you want things the way that you want them. And I was like, God, would you show me? Would you show me? And he says, if you are going to build according to the blueprints that I give you, you have to build according to the exact specifications that I give to you. And I said, God, I will build however you want me to build. And I believe that he's calling the builders. I believe that he's calling those who will say, not my plans, not my kingdom, not my ministry, not my thing, it's not all about me. God, what do you want to build? I want to build what you want to build, and I want it to be according to the exact specifications that you give. So now with Hope Arise, we're very new. We really just started. We fully just became a nonprofit in the beginning of 2025. And God is pedal to the metal. Like, we have been building so hard and so fast. And we started realizing, we started getting phone calls before we were even really open and ready to receive services. And we started getting phone calls saying, hey, I need help. This has happened to me, and I need services. Can you help? And we were like, gosh, we're not even set up yet, but yeah, we'll help. And so we're just now launching our case management services. We just purchased an incredible new software that actually captures data. so that we can begin to track the trends and see what is happening here in Hawaii. We're working with Dr. Dominique Rosepowitz from Arizona State University, and she runs a sex trafficking intervention and research team where she conducts all the studies. Here in Hawaii, she's conducted all of the studies that have been done so far, which is not much. We're a little behind the ball, but we'll get there. And we're really looking for to see, because when we talk about this in the community, people say, that doesn't happen here. Nope, not here. And yet what we're seeing and hearing from survivor stories is a totally different narrative. And so what we're doing is we're trying to capture and collect data to prove, to say, hey, this is happening here, and here's how it's happening, and here's what we're going to do about it. And so our hope is that by next year we'll be, in full swing, fully have collected a number of data from the clients that we've started taking, from the participants that we've started taking into our program, and we just started running with it. And so I would love to have the QR code, and I just want to direct you guys even just to our website. And we want to ask, we will be launching a volunteer program where you can get fully vetted and trained and all the things. We'll be launching it this summer, but we would love, you can go to our website and you can send us an email and say, hey, can you put me on the list? We are looking for people that are here long term. And again, we will be launching in this summer, but just so that we can begin collecting some interest and saying, okay, who wants to get on board, who wants to help, and we'll give you all the training that you need and work with you, and you can look at the different ways that you can get involved and help, and you can learn about human trafficking here. The reality is the studies that have been done here are quite alarming. And they show that about 1 in 11 men are buyers of sex here in Hawaii. The demand for sex here is quite high. And so when there's a demand, that demand has to be fulfilled. And sadly, it is fulfilled with our most vulnerable, our women and our children. The average age, the national average age of sexual exploitation is between 12 and like 14 years old. In Hawaii, it's 11. And on the Big Island, they've had confirmed cases as young as 8. And I have one of our board members works in this field, and she's seen some pretty horrific cases of sexual abuse even much younger than that. And so what we're seeing is that there is a real issue here, and we're wanting to build something here, and our hope and our goal, we're really modeling off of so much of Lauren's legacy and so much of what Lauren has shared here. Man, I was so filled with faith when I came here, and I'm like, wow, there's other crazy people that believe that God will speak and give you a solution for something and you just do it. That's crazy. And I felt like I was home when I came here. I'm like, I found my people, I found my tribe. You guys are crazy too. And so yeah, we're just crazy enough to go after this thing. And I just want to invite anyone in that says like, yeah, you know what, God has been calling me to this, and there is a wrestle in me, but come and get trained up, get equipped, begin to take the steps that you need to begin to learn about this injustice. We'll give you copies of the studies and let you see what's happening here. And yeah, I think a big part of what I really like to do too is raise awareness and really educate the community, because I think so often we really think of human trafficking as chains and handcuffs and being taken and thrown into the back of a van or trafficked across borders, but really, especially here in Hawaii, familial trafficking or being trafficked by someone that a family member or friend, is incredibly high. I'm talking like 80 to 90+% of cases are someone that they know. It's not the stranger danger like we often think or what we see in movies. And I think when we begin to learn and educate ourselves as a community, then we're able to identify what it really looks like, because misinformation leads to misidentification. And so if we don't know what it looks like and all we're thinking is, well, it looks like the movies where they get taken by some stranger and then they get taken off to Mexico or some other country. If we think that's what it only looks like, then we'll miss it when it's right in front of our face. And when it's the girl at the store, at the gas station store right in front of you, or the girl at Walmart or the kid at Walmart. And I'm telling you guys, you all have seen it and you haven't recognized it. And so for us as a community to get equipped, if we want to see the end of this thing, we have to all have eyes that can see, what does this really look like? What are the signs? How can I tell what the signs are? And so there's lots of different trainings. You can look online. I would love to do a training with you guys right here, but we don't have time tonight because it's one of my favorite things to do. But I want to encourage you guys, even if you're like, hey, this is not really my thing. I get it. Everybody has their thing. Maybe you're called to end Bible poverty and all the things. I get it. I understand. But I would ask you, would you, at the very least, just begin to educate yourself so that you know and that you're aware. Because when we have a community of people that can rise up, and then we begin to have eyes and ears everywhere, where then teachers begin to say, you know what? I'm seeing this change in this child's behavior, and I recognize the signs because I learned what the signs were, and now I know how to get help. And so we have a list of resources as well on our website of if you see something, say something. So if you see something, even if you suspect it, and you're like, I'm not really sure, better safe than sorry, just call and report it and say, hey, this is what I sensed, this is what I saw, maybe you could go check it out. And just to have a community of people really rise up and begin to partner together. We need teachers, we need the lawyers, we need the doctors, and we need everybody in the community to do something. I think this was the other alarming thing. I think when we look at even buyers, we think, oh gosh, who are these horrific people that are buying? When they did the study and they asked them, who were your buyers? It was doctors, judges, lawyers, politicians, people in the criminal justice system. Now, I'm not saying that so that we have a suspicious eye against everybody now, and now we're looking, are you the one? I'm just saying that majority of the time, it was the people that were supposed to be safe people in our community that were actually exploiting these girls and purchasing them. And so when we're looking at human trafficking, we have to have a different lens. And we can't go off of what we've seen in movies because we'll miss it. I would actually love to call the worship team up. Because I think what I want is a time of response. And for some of you, that response is going to be, Lord, what's my part? Maybe you're not called to just do this full time, and I understand that because it is a full-time job and it's hard work and it's a lot of work, and I understand. But maybe you're a mom or a dad, and you can educate yourself and be aware and help to begin to raise awareness within the community. Maybe you're a teacher and you can begin to spread awareness around schools. We've got some great resources and materials. Email us. I'm happy to give them out for free to you guys. Perhaps even come and do a little training at any high schools or middle schools. But I really just felt to encourage everyone that this work it's a lot, and it can be heavy, and it can be overwhelming. And I think the number one response of why no one did anything was, I just didn't know what to do. And I feel like I want to wipe that off the table tonight. And I want to invite all of you, again, to ask the Lord, God, what is just the one thing? Even if it's just one thing. Is there something? Maybe it's following some anti-trafficking organizations on social media and reposting it to help raise awareness, whatever it is. Lord, what is the response from your heart that you want me to have? Lord, I want to be awake. I want to be alert. And I want to be ready when you call, when you speak. I want to be one who responds. And I feel like there might be some of you that it's like, I can't really respond because I feel like that girl that was on the stage. And I feel like something's happened to me that I haven't fully been set free from, and I feel like, where is God in the midst of all of it? And I just want to encourage you that I've seen it. I have seen the glory of God, and I have seen how he steps into the most hopeless of situations and begins to unravel chains and mental bondages, deep heartache and despair, and he just begins to pull it off. He just begins to lift it off. And honestly, that might be some men in this room too. Statistically speaking, that might be some men in this room too. That if there has been some things that have happened to you, and you might be a grown adult, and no one ever stopped for the one. And no one ever stopped and said, hey, are you okay? I feel like the Lord is wanting to go right to the root of that thing. And it's like, God, but I've been carrying this for years. I've been wrestling with this for years. And in a moment, the Lord can just begin to pull it right out, as if it never happened, as far as the east is from the west. And he's like, all those things that happened to you, I'm able to wipe it away. I'm able to make all things new. Lord, I pray for your healing to just wash over this crowd, because how can we first go out like Isaiah in the temple? You know, it's like, oh gosh, here I am, send me, God. But Lord, you came and you cleansed his lips. Lord, you just came and you purged out all of the wounds, all of the things, all of the hurts, the pains. I feel like the Lord is wanting to just purge it all out of us tonight. That we would be the ones to be able to testify of the goodness of God and say, I know it's possible. I know healing is possible. I know freedom is possible because he healed me, because he set me free. And so, Lord, I just ask that you would come tonight, because I do believe that you are raising up an army. You're raising up an army of tenacious ones. You're raising up an army of people that will not bow to culture, that will not bow to the lies of society, that will not be afraid in the midst of the darkest hour of the most horrific injustices, that you will not be afraid. Because you're like, I've seen the one who sets me free. I've seen him. I've seen him with my own eyes, and he's coming back. And he's coming back for a pure and spotless bride. I've seen him, and he's coming back, and he is just. Oh God, I ask that you would let us see you tonight. Let us see you tonight, God. I really feel like the Lord is going to touch some people tonight. And the beautiful thing is no one knows what God is touching you about. No one knows what he's gonna do in your heart. So as you come up, who knows? It might be like, God, you're really calling me. Some of you are like, oh, I feel this in my gut. I feel this in my belly. God is calling me to this work. I'm saying yes tonight. I'm saying, Lord, take the coal, cleanse my lips. Here am I, send me. God, I want to see you in the temple, high and lifted up. Oh God, I want to see what it feels like to experience the train of your robe as it fills the temple. And some of you, God, it's like, I just want to heal you. I just want to set you free. So whatever it is, just come and receive. I don't even feel like anybody has to lay hands tonight. I feel like the Holy Spirit himself, the Comforter, he wants to come through, the Counselor. He wants to come through and he wants to touch people tonight. And he wants to minister. He's like, I'm going to do this myself.